Welcome, viewers, to another deep dive. Today, we uncover a chilling global secret. While Eastern Europe freezes in a brutal war of attrition, another front is burning. Thousands of miles away, beneath the scorching desert sun, the mighty Kremlin plots its next move. Why would a heavily drained nation ignite a second massive fire across the Middle East? The answer lies hidden in the sand, oil, and shadows. Let us now open the dark mystery box. The Kremlin is currently locked in a massive conflict, draining its wealth and manpower daily. Severe Western sanctions isolate the Russian economy from the global financial system. History shows empires fighting on multiple fronts often face a rapid, brutal collapse. Yet Putin fiercely projects immense military power into the distant Middle East. Why would a struggling nation devote its precious resources to the distant Syrian desert? Experts argue that this dual-front approach completely defies basic logistical logic. Each missile fired in Syria is one less weapon for the intense, brutal European war. Furthermore, keeping thousands of specialized troops stationed abroad costs billions of dollars yearly. Russia's domestic economy already bleeds heavily from massive global trade restrictions. To grasp this strange paradox, we must look beyond the frozen battlefields of the Northern Front. We must dive deep into the treacherous and shifting sands of Middle Eastern power dynamics. Historically, the volatile Middle East has always been the ultimate graveyard of empires. From the British Empire to the Soviet Union, superpower ambitions often burn away here. Yet the Kremlin insists on maintaining a formidable iron grip on this volatile region. Could it be a sign of imperial hubris? Or is there a much darker calculation at play? Many experts believe that Putin's strategy is driven by pure desperation and stubborn pride. They argue he cannot afford to lose face by withdrawing his elite forces from Arab lands. However, leaked intelligence reveals a profoundly different and calculated methodology. Russian political leaders never make random emotional moves on the global chessboard. Every deployed soldier and shipped weapon serves a very specific economic purpose. To crack this geopolitical enigma, we must first examine the most obvious explanations. Let us closely investigate the official narratives provided by the global media. For years, the world was told that Moscow only wanted to eliminate deadly terrorists. They painted themselves as the ultimate defenders of stability in a chaotic zone. But history teaches us that superpowers rarely spend blood and treasure for charity alone. Behind the noble declarations of peace and security, a colder, darker reality exists. The survival of the Russian state now heavily depends on mastering this complex foreign game. Let us transition from the snowy towers of Moscow to the burning deserts of the Levant. Here, the first layer of the Russian master plan was executed with ruthless military force. The Syrian civil war provided the perfect opportunity for Putin to test his lethal arms. It was a brutal testing ground for modern combat tactics and advanced aerospace technology. But more importantly, it secured a critical foothold in the highly contested, vital waters. This brings us to the most commonly accepted theory explaining the strong Russian presence. We are talking about the famous naval facility and the desperate need for warm seaports. Is the desire for a single port enough to justify such massive military expenses? In late 2015, the Syrian government was on the absolute brink of total collapse. Rebel factions and extremist groups were rapidly closing in on the capital city of Damascus. Out of nowhere, massive Russian bomber squadrons darkened the bright skies over the Middle East. The official narrative claimed they were launching a righteous crusade against global terrorism. Western analysts initially believed Moscow merely wanted to protect its longtime loyal ally. President Bashar al-Assad represented the last remaining pillar of Soviet influence. Losing Syria meant losing their only reliable foothold in the entire Arab world. Furthermore, the Russian Navy desperately needed to keep its strategic deepwater port at Tartus. Tartus is their only direct gateway to the Mediterranean, bypassing Turkish straits. Without this vital naval base, the mighty Russian fleet would be completely trapped in the Black Sea. These geopolitical facts are absolutely true, and they form the visible tip of the iceberg. But treating the Syrian mission as just a rescue effort is a dangerous mistake to make. The Kremlin used this devastating conflict to heavily subsidize its military industry. Combat experience gained in the desert perfectly prepared their commanders for future aggressive wars. However, the mighty Tartus naval base cannot explain the massive scale of current actions. A single Mediterranean port does not pay for a $1 trillion war in Eastern Europe. We must dig much deeper beneath the surface, past the military bases and political rhetoric. If Syria was merely the testing ground, what exactly is the grand strategy hiding in the shadows? The true answer is not entirely about controlling land, but rather controlling global lifeblood. What happens when a sanctioned superpower realizes it holds the key to the global economy? They stop playing a simple military game and start manipulating the foundations of world wealth. To survive the fierce Western sanctions, Russia desperately needed a silent, invisible weapon. This weapon is not a hypersonic missile, nor is it a battalion of heavily armored tanks. It is a dark, viscous liquid that dictates the rise and fall of modern human civilization. Oil is the absolute master of geopolitics, and the Middle East controls its heavy, beating heart. The narrative of fighting terror successfully masked the true nature of their long-term expansion. By planting their military flag in Damascus, they gained a permanent seat at the regional table. They were no longer just a distant northern superpower. They became a vital local power broker. This newfound authority allowed them to directly influence the wealthy Arab oil-producing nations. Every diplomatic handshake in Riyadh or Tehran was backed by the subtle threat of Russian bombers. We must now discard the misleading clues and face the terrifying reality of the new world order. The Syrian campaign was merely the violent prologue to a much larger economic confrontation. According to global historians, controlling energy is like controlling the enemy's heartbeat. This marks the complete end of our illusions regarding the Kremlin's Middle Eastern military strategy. We now open the mystery box to reveal the true mechanics of this invisible second front. The grand revelation begins with a shocking and unprecedented alliance between former bitter rivals. Moscow quietly extended its hand to the powerful royal families of Saudi Arabia. Together, they formed the powerful OPEC Plus cartel, deeply dominating global oil production. By controlling the oil supply, Russia gained the terrifying power to manipulate inflation. When energy prices violently soar, Western economies heavily bleed from the inside out. High oil revenues directly fill the Kremlin's war chests, neutralizing the impact of global sanctions. It is a brilliant and ruthless financial paradox that continues to baffle Western politicians. As Europe freezes and struggles to heat homes, the Russian energy machine generates record profits. But economic warfare is only one half of this highly complex Middle Eastern equation. We must cross the perilous Persian Gulf to witness the formation of a dark new military axis. In the deep shadows of Tehran, an unprecedented exchange of lethal technology is taking place. Desperate for cheap firepower, Moscow turned to the heavily sanctioned Islamic Republic of Iran. In exchange for advanced Russian aerospace secrets, Iran provides endless swarms of deadly drones. These cheap kamikaze drones rain heavy destruction upon vital European infrastructure. This lethal supply chain creates a terrifying loop of mutual military survival. A single desert drone factory directly shifts the brutal European balance of power. The Middle East has effectively become Russia's invisible and indispensable second front. Every barrel of oil sold and every drone launched proves that geography is a mere illusion. While the world obsessively watches the snowy trenches, the true masterstrokes occur in the sand. Top intelligence reports suggest this dark strategy forces NATO to awkwardly split its focus. The United States simply cannot afford to abandon the volatile Persian Gulf region. They must deploy massive aircraft carriers and highly expensive missile systems to the area. Every dollar spent in the blazing desert is a dollar diverted from the European front. By stoking the flames of regional tension, the Kremlin forces its enemies to bleed resources. This is the ultimate strategic judo move, using the opponent's own massive weight against them. The Kremlin knows a burning Middle East divides and distracts the Western military forces. By fueling regional chaos, they force Washington to constantly look over its own shoulder. A sudden crisis in the Persian Gulf immediately diverts crucial American weapons. This strategic misdirection is the ultimate weapon of a severely sanctioned Russian state. Every missile defense system deployed to protect the vital Middle Eastern oil fields is one less sophisticated defense system standing against the mighty Russian forces. Furthermore, a highly volatile Middle East actively drives up global energy prices. This brilliant economic manipulation perfectly funds their massive and ongoing war machine. They are transforming a regional conflict into a massive global strategic lever. By forming this powerful alliance with Iran, they secure an unlimited arsenal. Deadly drones manufactured in deep Iranian facilities are now terrifying Europe. The historic agreement with the Saudis proves that Western dominance is quickly fading. OPEC Plus can dramatically restrict oil production to severely punish the dollar. This means European politicians are desperately scrambling to avoid a winter crisis. While their citizens endure freezing temperatures, the Russian state fills its bank accounts. Let us now open the mystery box and reveal the full scope of this grand operation. Moscow actively requires a highly tense Middle East to ensure its own national survival. If the Persian Gulf region suddenly become peaceful, Washington can refocus its attention. A fully united and focused American army is a truly terrifying prospect. Therefore, the Kremlin engineers a situation of constant, highly managed instability. This is not just watching the Middle East, this is aggressively manipulating its future. By utilizing the complex tactical chessboard of the global political landscape, President Putin effectively breaks the heavy economic siege designed by the Pentagon. The blazing deserts of Syria and the icy holes of Moscow are now deeply connected. Every tactical move executed in the Arab world directly strikes European soil. This profound realization fundamentally changes how we must view this modern warfare. The Russian leadership is playing an incredibly long and dangerous game of survival. They recognize that the era of absolute American dominance is finally ending. By embracing the emerging multipolar world order, they secure their enduring legacy. However, this aggressive expansion comes with immense and potentially devastating risks. Stretching massive armies too thinly across multiple continents is historically fatal. The financial burden of supporting these vast foreign operations is truly staggering. If oil prices unexpectedly plummet, the entire Russian financial system could shatter. Moreover, the native Arab nations are fiercely independent and highly unpredictable. They will not simply act as obedient pawns in a destructive proxy war against the West. Nations like Saudi Arabia and the Emirates possess their own ambitious agendas. They expertly leverage the fierce competition between superpowers to maximize their gains. We must also consider the rapidly growing presence of another silent global giant. While Russia offers advanced weaponry, China arrives with massive infrastructure investments. Beijing is quietly attempting to buy massive influence throughout the Arab region. This complex triangular dynamic creates an unpredictable diplomatic battlefield. When Chinese wealth collides directly with Russian chaos, the outcomes are uncertain. Will the local Middle Eastern powers ultimately decide to align with the Eastern Axis? Or will they expertly play all superpowers against each other to maintain independence? The Kremlin watches the Middle East closely because its very survival depends upon it. We have peeled back the layers of deception to reveal a ruthless global strategy. As shadows lengthen over the desert sands, the next pivotal strategic move approaches. Is this strategy a masterstroke of survival, or a reckless gamble for global power? What do you think will happen next? Please share your boldest thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more.